Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our team call this evening. We've got an awesome call prepared for you guys tonight. I'm super excited about it because we actually have, I know that our team and Nancy's team decided a couple months ago to conjoin and start doing team calls together. But we have now brought in another absolutely brilliant mind. She's been in the industry for quite a bit of time. I'm going to read her bio as she wrote it. But it's Sandy McClure. She is an executive consultant too, with LifeVantage. And she is a Colorado native. She just turned 60 years old. When you look at her picture, she does not look anything near 60, just so you know. It must be activation. But she was a teacher and a coach for 26 years, and she started direct sales in 2012. She retired from public education in 2016. She's got 3 daughters, all who are in the business. One of her daughters is an MC3, Morgan, who's married to Ben, and Brooks. They have a young son, Brooks, who I actually got to meet, and he's 2. And then Bethany, who's 30 years old, she's an MC1 in LifeVantage, married to husband Kyle. And they have Landon, Blake, and then also Lindsay, your last daughter, who is an MC2, who's married to husband Sean and has a baby Grace due in November. She is married to Randy McClure. In 2017, they live in Creed, Colorado. And she calls herself a plain old gal who is connected to incredible people. And I have to say, Nancy, and I'm not sure when Nancy met Sandy, but I met Sandy in November. It was November because it was all over Jarrett Dove, who I'm not sure if Jarrett is able to be on this call tonight because he is actually doing a call with a potential customer. But she had reached out to me wanting to see if Jarrett's story was something that she could share and speak to him, contact him. And I said, absolutely. I mean, that's what we do in LifeVantage is we're here as a team and we want to help other people. And we're all cross lines. Sandy, me, Nancy, we are not on the same team. And that's the beauty of this is we decided to collaborate together. And so there are many, many strong suits that Sandy is going to be bringing to the table. A lot of exciting announcements, that I'm going to make tonight. I do want to throw out a reminder to everybody about the Activate virtual event on this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. Mountain Time. They said it will go about 90 minutes. It's something that I really truly hope that you're registered for. If people are having a watch party, make sure that you attend it. It's an investment in your business. Definitely make sure that you tune in because there's going to be quite a few announcements. There's some changes coming that are amazing. So just you don't want to miss it. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the market meetup in October. Again, still early bird pricing at $79. And I do believe that does go for a little bit yet. But something to think about is making sure that you get registered for that in-person event. If you guys have never been to an event, I highly recommend that you do whatever you can to get there. Because we have an absolutely incredible product launch. And Nancy is at the forefront of it. She's on our science advisory board. For those who don't know, Dr. Nancy Bryan, I know our team does, and of course her team, but for Sandy's team members that are on here tonight, Dr. Nancy Bryan, I'm sure you've seen her or heard about her. But she is, Gary, she's incredible. She's an incredible wealth of knowledge. And so together, the three of us have been collaborating to build tools for these teams, for our teams to use to help you. We will be launching them soon, within the next 2 weeks. And I know that it's taken a little bit of time, but I promise you it's going to be worth the wait. And I do feel like the more that we work together and collaborate, the better that this is going to be for us all. Are you I think we were going to announce that we are going to be starting a Facebook group, the three of our teams together. If you guys want to unmute and share a little bit before we move on to the other part of the call, feel free to step in and say something. But we plan to create a Facebook group specifically around this product launch. And it's going to be a Facebook group that we will continue forward beyond. And as there's going to be coaching inside of it, we're going to have videos, science, a lot of testimonials. We are going to start a testimonial Tuesday. And we're going to arm you guys with as much information and, I guess, from the heart stories as you can imagine. Knowing that we are creating, obviously, a Facebook group just for this product launch means that this product launch is massive. And when I say massive, it's massive. And we can't say too much about it just yet. So I'm sorry about that. As soon as we get the green light, they may tease a little bit about it on Activate this Saturday. I'm not sure. But definitely we will be filling that group with all kinds of information that you will be able to bring your potential customers, your team members, and they can bring potential customers and prospects and consultants. And we want to build it and grow it and share it so that we get the word out, because, well, Nancy knows how huge it is. It's going to help a lot of people. So I just wish we could say more. But with that being said, tonight, we brought in Sandy, and I want her to share her amazing story. She's been in this industry for quite some time now, 12 years, it looks like, and not only brings a wealth of knowledge of the industry, but she knows how important it is to share your story. I know that a lot of us lead with the product because the product is, it changed my life in 5 days when I had battled chronic health challenges for 7 years. And when something like that happens to you, you have two choices. You can keep it to yourself, or you can share it with other people. And when I joined LifeVantage, I had no idea where it would take us. I had no idea how drastically not only the products, but also the business side of it would change our lives as we know it forever. I am unbelievably forever grateful for what we have in our hands. For those of you that are scared to share it, don't be scared. We're all adults. Sharing your story is very, very important. And one of the biggest things that you can do is, talk to people in your network and tell them why LifeVantage. You don't need to fill them with all the science and all the facts. That is why we have groups, and that's why we're building tools so that you can share those tools. What they want to know is how it can help them and how it helped you. And they'll be able to relate. Many people, not everybody's going to relate to all of our stories, but I promise you, if I would have kept this to myself, thousands upon thousands of people would not be in my life right now and would not have their own health stories or forever be affected by, in the most positive way I can even imagine, by this. I have people on this call from, I see California, Arizona, just on our team locally, Tennessee, down in the Twin Cities. I see a lot of our team members who are spread all around the United States. And if I would have kept my mouth shut and never said anything to anyone about how this changed my life as I know it, none of us would be here on our team anyways. So please be bold. Please share your story. Lead with your story. Lead with how it changed your life. Lead with, and if you didn't join for the product and you joined to earn extra money, that's okay too. Lead with whatever is completely authentic to you, because that is what matters to people. So with that being said, I do want to introduce tonight again Sandy McClure from Creed, Colorado, who is also going to be partaking in our team calls moving forward, and helping us, we're collaborating as a team now. We're all a big, huge team. We're all here to answer questions. And that's one thing I will do. I will open up for questions and answers after. But Sandy has an incredible, powerful story that needs to be heard. And it is my honor and pleasure to hand it over to you, Sandy, to tell everybody, how LifeVantage has completely changed your life as well.
Well, thank you, Kim and Nancy, so much for asking me to be part of this. And I will tell you, I told them today, this is like me starting my business brand new today, just because this is exciting and it's new. And so I want you to feel like you're thinking, well, this might be my chance now. If you haven't done anything, or if you hadn't even been interested, today's the day I'm going to really start taking this seriously. And I will tell you, by taking it seriously, it doesn't mean it has to be hard. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast, to be quite honest with you. And for me, this doesn't feel like work. I've always been in a job where I've loved what I've done. So anything I've ever done in my life has never felt like work. Some of it has been hard work. I worked very hard as an educator. I was one of those people who did everything, and I worked in a small school, but I did everything all the time. And when I did finally retire from teaching, I didn't realize how much time I had. What was beautiful about this is that I could work in the nooks and crannies of my life. And I found that after I retired, I had less nooks and crannies, I feel like, than I did when I was teaching. But it was just because I had to think differently. But I will tell you, I didn't go from direct sales, from teaching to direct sales easily. It was a big decision in my life, and there were some things that led to that. And so, as Kim said, she and Nancy both lead with the product. Guess what, you guys? I do too. And look where we are. And so I did have people in my former company, because I was in a company before I joined LifeVantage, where I had some of the top leaders who I was at the same level as them tell me, Sandy, you need to start leading with the business. And I thought, well, to be successful. And I thought, well, if you consider yourself successful, I'm right where you are. And so I want you to know that there's a way to do this for everybody. It's got to fit, but I'm going to tell you the best way to do that is consistency. And I love that Kim put the emphasis on events, because let me just give you a little bit of back to what happened. In 2012, my niece posted on Facebook it was called a 24-day challenge, and I just wanted to support her. Okay. And so I reached out to her. My words were, what is this 24-day challenge you speak of? I had zero intention of doing it, but I wanted to buy whatever she was selling because I wanted to support her. I knew nothing about direct sales other than the Avon lady in my town who drove a blue Maverick with a white top. When I got there, and 26 years later when I left, was still driving that blue Maverick with a white top. And I considered her the lady that rang the doorbell and sat and had coffee. I didn't take what she did seriously because I didn't see her make big gains, but she was doing it the way she loved doing it and getting to know people. So that's what I knew about direct sales then. I will tell you that I ordered that product, and one day I looked at it and I thought, might as well try this. I was going through kind of a really rough time in my marriage, a really hard time in my marriage. Always was very, I'm never going to get a divorce. I'm a fighter, and I don't go down easy. I'm a coach of a volleyball team that won 3 state championships in a row, won a state track championship. I am a coach by by nature, and I have high expectations of people that I bring on and of myself. I just think that we're all very capable of doing things. But this was not in my wheelhouse. When my niece said, "Sandy, you really need to think about doing this business. You had great results." I did, because I followed it by the letter and I did what I was supposed to do and I was consistent. And I said, "If you say that one more time, I'll never use your products again. I don't have time for that." Well, guess what, guys? Things changed in my marriage. My husband left me in November of that same year. And I remember saying to him, "Hey, if you can just stick around, I think I can make something out of this direct sales thing." And he said, "Oh, your little direct sales thing." And I thought, you know, well, what was happening is I did share what I knew, but I was also sharing my login and saying, "Here, you can just use my discount." And then I looked at the comp plan and I thought, geez, I really could use an extra $200 for groceries. You guys, I was broke. I had to look at my bank account. It was hard to do back then because I didn't have the iPhone and I didn't have the bank app and all the things we have now, but I was never sure if I was going to have enough money in my account to buy groceries. And I kid you not, $200. And I thought if I could just make $200, that would make a huge difference. Well, guess what? When I did have those people just do what I did, I made over $200. So the next month I thought, I bet I could double that if I talked to a few more people. And guess what, you guys? That was in 2012. Okay. By 2013, by August of that year, my daughter Morgan and I got invited to this thing they called Success School. We went to this event and it was like what a Life Vantage event would be, convention. Over 40,000 people at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. And I sat up in the crowd and I thought, well, good for those people. I'll never be able to do that, but that's amazing. But I was making pretty good income at that time just by sharing what I knew and telling people. And Morgan, my oldest daughter, same thing. You know what happened by the next year? I was standing on stage a year later in front of 45,000 plus people telling my story. And I was one of the top earners in the company. Now, remember, I never had any intention of selling. I didn't want to sell, but I also had great results and I had belief in a product. And I really, truly did. I was still a full-time educator and coach, you guys, and I was working lots of hours, but I made that happen. I didn't make that happen by myself. It took a lot of people who were just like me to do what I did. And it was just a lot of people sharing a little bit, and we all were benefiting from that. So that little direct sales thing that my ex-husband talked to me about afforded me the opportunity that when he finally did leave me and my daughter graduated from high school, I was able to walk away from 26 years of public education, retired because I had just turned 50, making in my last month almost as much as I made the entire school year of my last year of teaching. Almost. A couple $1,000s short of that. And I didn't even know that was possible. And I'm not one to talk about money, you guys, but I'm telling you, it made a difference. And as I told Kim and Nancy before, I was always the person who volunteered. Our superintendent always donated money to everything that we did. And I thought, gosh, I'd love to be able to give money. And he said, "Sandy, you give something that money can't buy. You give time." He goes, "Let me give the money." But I thought, wouldn't it be cool to be able to do both? And now I'm able to, if I want to, help somebody buy $200 worth of groceries, which might buy you a bag of groceries nowadays, one bag. But I'm telling you what it has, it's given me choices and it's given me opportunity. So that was in 2013. 2014, I walked away from public education. I cashed in my retirement and I invested it because I didn't need that money. And that has been a very smart thing to do too. We all need several streams of income. So don't ever forget that. But what I came with was no experience, but passion. And so for the next year, I was super excited. I had pinned one of the highest levels in 2015 in June. And on July 13th of 2015, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. Very aggressive, triple negative breast cancer. This happened to a woman, and I want you to really pay attention to this, who exercised, who ate right, who did all the right things. I did not feel cancer growing inside of me, but it was growing. And so when you have somebody tell you, I don't feel these products working, it doesn't mean they're not working. We can't, if we could unzip from head to pelvis and open up and see what these products are doing, it would be mind blowing. So when people say, I can't feel it, say, would you feel cancer growing? Because I don't know if you'd feel that either. I don't ever want to have that conversation with people of why didn't you tell me what you knew? And so I don't feel bad about telling people what I know. It's then their decision to become activated or not, but it's my obligation to share what I know. And what we need here is more messengers. So if you're holding back on your story, you can consider yourself a little bit selfish. Don't say, you know, we're all worried about, we have that thing in our head about, oh, I don't want to come across as too pushy or whatever. Well, don't come across as too pushy then. Just share your story or share somebody else's story that might relate to somebody and say, have you ever considered? Have you heard about this? And that's exactly how I built to what I did. So in 2015, I was diagnosed with breast cancer long before I knew about activation. So my always message is to people, I don't really want you to go through what I do. Let's try to prevent anything like that from happening, and let's just be proactive. Now, who knows if I would have been activated and still had that happen, but I will tell you, I only had to fight one thing when I was going through cancer. I only had to fight that. I didn't have to fight obesity. I didn't have to fight diabetes. I didn't have to fight anything else. So I was fighting one fight, and that was to kill that cancer. Okay. Fortunately, I was able to do that. I had 20 weeks of chemotherapy. I had a bilateral mastectomy. I was completely bald. And I stood up on stage and spoke in front of thousands of people with a bald head. I didn't care because it didn't bother me to have a bald head. What it also did was gave people hope. And you know what else it did? That being bold prior to that major medical issue in my life afforded me the opportunity to be able to be present in my treatments and everything. I didn't have to take time off work, any of that. And so I dug the well before I was thirsty. So when I was thirsty, and I was very thirsty going through all of that treatment, I was able to do that because of direct sales. Now, if I was still a teacher, it wouldn't have been that way. I would have still had to go to work. I'd have to ask for time off. I can just imagine how that would have been. So I want you to think about a lot of things beyond just how great these products make you feel. They do. Okay, so in 2015, on July 13th, I was diagnosed. I fought that fight. Guess what happened on July 13th, 2016? My grandson was born. So there are lots of peaks and valleys in life, and that's no coincidence. And that about makes me cry just thinking about it. But I will tell you that when I got diagnosed, I thought, first thing that went through my mind is, number one, I can't die. I cannot not survive this. I want to see my 3 daughters walk down the aisle. I want to see them have children. And I've been able to do all that. So I get emotional when I talk about that. But I also share that story with people because I know how important family is to everyone. And so to have my grandson born on July 16th and then July 17th, I was on stage again in front of 45,000 people telling that survival story. Okay. And so again, that story matters. I want to tell you that I did get implants, and it was a choice that I really didn't want to have, but I got implants, and it's important that you know that, because for the next 3 years, I still didn't feel very good. I think I looked okay. But I will tell you, and I can share, you'll see pictures of me later. I looked like a monster without makeup on because my face was swollen. My eyes were all full of rash. I had a rash here. I was really inflamed. Something was wrong, and they could not tell me. They kept sending me to, I go to the doctor and they'd want to do all these tests. They want to give me all this medication. I said, until you can tell me why I'm taking this medication, I'm not taking it. So here's what happened in 2019, right before I was introduced to LifeVantage. In April of 2019, got those implants taken out, and immediately I felt better. Okay, so I knew something was wrong with my body, and I did tell the doctor, I think it's these implants. And he said, do you realize what you're going to look like if you take those implants out? And I said, do you realize what you're going to look like if you say that to me again? I thought, what a jerk, really, I don't think he meant that, but I wanted to punch him in the face. And I thought, that's why a lot of people don't take care of those things. But anyway, it worked for me. I knew it right away that I felt better. Guess what happened in May of 2019? The company that I was with changed their comp plan, and they changed their business model, and we lost what we had. We lost everything except for our customers. My whole team went away. Everything that I built Fortunately, I'd managed my money well enough, but you know what I said? I will never do direct sales again. I will never, ever touch it again. And I had an inbox full. You can imagine somebody at my level had an inbox full of people messaging me, including my LifeVantage sponsor. And you know what I told him 6 times? No, I don't want to hear about it. No. Part of the reason why I didn't want to hear about it is all he was talking to me is about an opportunity that he had. And I didn't want the opportunity. When I finally, on number 7 conversation, which I can't believe he didn't take a hint. I wouldn't have come back to me because I wasn't nice about it. I said, what do you even sell? What product do you even have? And he goes, well, remember when I reached out to you in 2014 when you were doing really well in your other company? I said, yeah, I do remember that, and told you I wasn't interested. He said, well, I'm still doing that same product. I said, what is it? When he told me, I didn't believe him. Because I said, if that was true, you would have told me about that when I was going through my health issues. Well, you know what? He wasn't sharing what I needed to hear. So remember that. I needed to hear about a product. I didn't need to hear about a business opportunity. So what happened is I said, if everything you're telling me is true, in June of 2019, I said, send me some free product and I'll see. In the meantime, he didn't know me well enough to know that I went to some local meetings where I was sitting at the table with some medical professionals, and I'm like mind blown. And I just asked this really old man, he was a microbiologist, and I said, tell me why I need to take this, because they were talking way over my head. And he just said, honey, I've been in this industry or this medical field for a long time, and there's nothing like this. And I felt like it was my grandpa talking to me. And I said, I'm in. I'm going to use these products. I didn't say I was going to sell it, but I said I'm going to use them. I went to my colonoscopy appointment a month later, and I didn't even know how to explain, but my colonoscopy doctor came in, and that was the next form of cancer they expected me to have. I'm going to tell you that. And I hadn't told anyone, but they said, next time you come, you need to be prepared. He said, you had one minuscule precancerous polyp. What are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, how is this happening? This is not what we expected. And I said, well, I don't know. It's in a blue bottle. I didn't even really know, And then I knew when I walked out of there, I said, I'm obligated to share this. So I flew to Salt Lake City, and I sat down with the corporate staff, and I said, I still have customers in my old business who I'm loyal, and I'm not just going to walk away from anything. I said, if you'll allow me to still share that with the people that I've brought on board, that I'm not just going to walk away from, then I'll share with what you have. But if not, I'll take your products forever. I'm not going to be a consultant. And they said, you're absolutely fine to do that. And so what happened from then on was, remarkable. Fortunately, I got some products in me that helped me detox from all those heavy metals and things that had been going on with me with those implants. And I just got better and better. NAD came along right after I joined. And I will tell you that I had horrible neuropathy 3 days after NAD. I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence. I could feel my feet again, and I could feel them. They hurt bad. But I told my husband that morning, I said, my feet hurt. And he said, are you okay? I just started crying. I said, did you hear what I said? My feet hurt. I could feel them. So I immediately called the lead doctor at LifeVantage, and I said, is this supposed to happen? And he said, well, no, we don't know. It depends on the person. So you guys, after that, I was just like passionate. I couldn't help it. And I didn't care if people felt offended. They didn't, because they never felt like I was trying to sell them something. They felt like I was sharing what I knew, my excitement. And so that is how I have a really, really strong retention. A lot of the customers I bring on stay because I talk to them about that, and then I get them activated, and then I upsell to everything, because everything we use, guys, everybody uses that. Vitamins, shampoo, all of the things, everybody uses that on a daily basis. If you're a distributor or consultant, why wouldn't you use products from your own store? And so that's how we've really grown. And the people that are on here on my team, they know that about me. And we are just very passionate about what we do. We're products of the products. In 2020, my biggest cheerleader, my mom, in January, needed a place to stay. She needed to make a change. I was able to move to where she lived, rent a townhome, and take care of my mom. She died in May of 2020, not of COVID. I think she died of a broken heart of what was going on in our world. She couldn't watch the Rockies. She couldn't watch the Nuggets. She says, I'm out. And she left the world the way I came into the world. I was holding her in my arms. And I will tell you that I was able to spend all of that time with her ever since I joined direct sales, to be able to be with my mom and be present with her. I wouldn't have been able to be with her all that time, live with her and do all those things if I was still a teacher. And we had a great, I'm telling you, there's no price you can ever be paid to be able to be part of that. And so I didn't know anything about this industry. I didn't know what a blessing it could be. It has changed my life. I don't talk about it enough to, the choices that you get to have. And so I want you to, just to understand that I am a plain old gal. I'm just an ordinary person, you guys. I'm not fancy. I don't like real bright, shiny things. I live very simply, but I am so grateful that I do have the opportunity to make choices and help people. And so, my story kind of continues on. In June of 2022. I lost a lot of weight. I promised my mom, she said, when I'm gone, I hope that you take better care of yourself. And so I made that promise to her. I lost 50 pounds. I did the 75 hard challenge, and I just did. I'd lost 20, and then I lost another 30. I had knee surgery right after that in June of 2022. A week later, collagen came out. And I had knee surgery at the Stedman Clinic here in Vail, Colorado. That is a world-renowned place. I walked out of there, you guys, without crutches after my knee surgery. And my doctor's like, I would never had anybody do this. And then I started on collagen a week later, and I didn't even have to go back to Vail for my recap. He just said, let's just do a video. He goes, I'd love to see you again. He goes, you're just the epitome of health. And he couldn't believe it. And so I'm like, dude, you need to just take on what I'm doing. Forget this. You work way too many hours. But anyway, you know how they are. I didn't try to convince him, but I will tell you, I had amazing recovery from that. And I walked 3 miles that afternoon after I had surgery. Probably not the smartest thing I've ever done, but I did it. And so everything just keeps getting better. And what's coming and what we're talking about, what's coming is everything I've asked for since I've joined LifeVantage. And it's perfectly fitting into what took me to the highest level in AdvoCare. And so you all need to be excited. I can't tell you, I just turned 60 last week, okay? I should be thinking about retirement. I'm so freaking excited about working the rest of my life. I'm never going to retire because I'm never going to tire of sharing what we have. And you guys, this is going to be so life-changing. If you're a person who wants to impact somebody's life, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to be, I really don't care that I'm remembered, but if people talk about me, I want to be remembered as a person who genuinely helped someone overcome something they never thought they were going to get past. And that's what we have our hands on. Never, ever forget what we have our hands on. So I'm going to turn it over to Nancy. And I do want to just thank you guys again for letting me be part of this. And my team, I have some of the most incredibly wonderful people who I feel like are just like you. And we're ready to take this to another level too, the right way. Okay, the right way. And I'm going to turn it over to Nancy because she's going to tell you just a little bit about as much as she can about why we're so excited. Kim and I definitely and Nancy all get to start this product next month because we earned that Rise Era trip. And so if you earn that, you get to start it. So we'll be able to share a lot of things with you. So thank you all so much. Oop, I was going to turn it over to Nancy, but she
Sorry.
There you go.
I'm unmuted finally. Sorry. You know what I love most
You're breaking up, Nancy.
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you now, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Well, I'm getting in my car because the place I was at was too loud. So, and never mind, it's 115 degrees here.
Turn your air
right?
conditioning on.
There you go. It's on now. But anyway, listen, I'm so excited to have Sandy and Kim and I collaborate because you know what? We are going to be just an amazing group of people helping others. That's what we do best. And that's the point we want to bring across to everyone. These products are the best tools that I've ever seen. And like Sandy, many of you, I don't know if y'all that are on today know my story, but like her, I went through a tremendous bout of breast cancer twice, chemotherapy, ended up in a wheelchair. And by the grace of God, I had a surfer, not a doctor, not a nurse, not anybody medical, a surfer tell me about this. So please, you don't have to be the expert. Just think where I can tell you, I don't even know if I'd be here if that surfer wouldn't have shared this with me. And as a result of it, guess what? I ended up having such profound results that my oncologist made me get my blood work done again. Can you believe that? He just was like, no, the lab messed up. That's insane. And guess why? I had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 28 years old. I didn't know this, but his wife had rheumatoid arthritis. Did he care about me as his patient? Yes. But guess what? He cared about his wife. And when he saw my rheumatoid factor in my blood all of a sudden not there, he's like, how is that possible? So the bottom line is we can't ever say we treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure anything. But guess what? God made our bodies to be activated and operate properly. And that's what we do. And why I'm so excited to be part of what we do is because at a cellular level, we're taking care of our bodies to activate, to do proper gene expression. So when people tell me, oh, well, I got this, I got that, I got, psoriasis, I got arthritis, I don't care. I do not care what is wrong because guess what? What we do works on a cellular level that helps the body restore its own wellness. And in the process, it activates good genes again. That's called nutrigenomics, nutrients that turn back on the good genes. And when those things happen, you see vivid results. You see things happen. They don't happen overnight like with a drug, but over time you see incredible improvements. And just like Sandy said, you don't always feel it, right? And I apologize. For some reason, my car keeps coming out. It must love me. Anyway, the bottom line is our NRF2 and collagen, we have a study that recently came out. Whoever invited you on here, please make sure that you know about this study. If you go to the Healthy Glow section on our website and scroll down, the product information sheet is there and the study is there. Why people like me, people on the science board were crying when we got the results of this is because what that study showed, nothing else on the planet has done yet. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to listen to the science board. You don't have to listen to marketing. All you need to know is the science is there and we have it. And it's there to make an impact in your life and in your body. And so I know we've gone long tonight. I don't want to stay on too long tonight. But what I want you to know is that if you go, because this is a kind of insider secret, a lot of people will call me or text me and ask questions all the time. We're going to get to answering some of those questions in a video format so that you guys can have those available to you. What we're putting together and collaborating to do is going to be incredible because we've got the expertise of Kim and website knowledge and Sandy understanding how important it is to get out there and be brave and tell people and just get it done. And we've got the science to back it. And you know what? Now you're not going to have any excuses. So be careful what you wish for, right? So the bottom line is, you know what? Take it. This is Carrie Dickey's phrase. Take it, feel it, share it. That's all we need to do. Let's keep it simple. And for those of you, if you're looking for that information, figure out how to get to your site. It's easy. Go to that Healthy Glow stack. Go to the bottom. Click on it. You'll see it. And you can share it with anybody you want to. And most of them won't know. I've showed it to doctors and they don't really even sometimes get it, but the information sheet will make it clear. And you know what? The bottom line is you have it. So when they tell you, well, I'm already on this, I'm already on that, really? Can you share with me your studies? Can I see them? Guess what? At best, they've borrowed someone else's science, not even on their own products. So guess what? We have that study trademarked Protandim by name, trademarked collagen by name. These are things you do not see in this industry. And so I'm just encouraging you, make sure that you just take a little bit of time every day. You don't have to take all day every day. Just take a little bit of time every day. And just like Sandy and just like Kim, if the people wouldn't have shared with us, I know each of us and the health journeys we were on was not good. You could make a huge impact on someone. So Kim, you have anything else you want to follow up with?
No, well, just again, reiterating that, about Saturday's event, but I wanted to thank Sandy, like your story I haven't heard it completely yet, but it's incredible. And this is such a God thing that the three of us got connected the way we did. And, I've never been more excited, and I've had a lot of achievements in LifeVantage. I've been in LifeVantage over 8 years, and I've never been more excited for where the future is headed with our company. I know it's easy to get distracted with some of the companies right now that are going through some hardships and changing some things and the way they do business. LifeVantage is a publicly traded company, and this is an incredible place to be. So feel blessed, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. There's just one thing all three of us cannot say it enough, because we've all come from such, I guess, challenging times with our health. And I know that there's many people on this Zoom that have an incredible story as well. And we will be calling on multiple different people through the next few months to be sharing on our Testimonial Tuesday. And I just ask that you be authentic to yourself and be brave and share straight from the heart. So I'm going to end with that. Thank you, Sandy. Seriously, I'm so unbelievably honored and thrilled for this collaboration. And thank you, Nancy. I love you. I'm going to end the recording right now and then open up for questions and answers, so we can hang tight. If those of you need to get off, you can go ahead and hop off. But I do want to open up for a Q&A.